welcome to A Merry Space with Nisi. I'm Bernie Slowflowers. Well, can you imagine that all the holiday frenzy is over? Yes, indeed. The last piece of pie has been eaten. The one relative who overstays their welcome during the holidays has left. The decorations are packed away. So now it's back to business as usual. Our normal routine kicks in until we get caught up in another holiday whirlwind. Given that we live in a society where holidays are a big deal, we can expect to experience lots of fun, anxiety, and stress that comes along with the preparations, expectations, and not to mention the amount of money we spend on gifts and other items, so much so that these obsessions have become essential ingredients of our being. Look, we know that holidays are a time to celebrate with family and friends because it brings us joy. It's a time to reflect and give thanks for our many blessings and so on. However, do we really think about the consequences, the aftermath, post-holiday blues, and the implications that affect us both mentally and physically? Maybe not. Whether we like it or not, somehow we have to deal with these pressures since we probably went overboard doing and spending too much, which means that the mental stress and distress and anxiety as well we experience could last for a while and possibly lead to depression, especially if we don't take good care of ourselves or seek immediate attention. Like it or not, most of us get caught up in the moment and spend and overspend. Then what? After the holidays are over, we are left mentally exhausted and financially stuck because we either spend too much or maxed out our credit cards. So, when the bills arrive, after the season is all gone, we are faced with the dilemma and have no choice but to pay for the stuff we purchased that were not intended or included in our budget. Of course, we want to entertain our families and friends, neighbors, and others. However, we must understand that we can only do and spend so much and not pretend that we have it all together or everything is fine and dandy. Just think about all the unnecessary gifts we purchase for folks during the Christmas period. More than likely, those same gifts will never be used or were gifted simply because the item wasn't their style or favorite color. So the recipient gives that item to someone else who will appreciate and cherish its value. That's how it ends up sometimes or most of the time. After going through all this hoopla, now you're assessing how you're going to recover from this holiday spending, right? You need to hold it together because if you don't hold it together, these post-holiday blues can really get you down. Not to mention, the bills keep coming and accumulating. One thing for sure, we are going to get those bills. So what are you going to do when the bills keep coming? Are you going to trash them? Cut up your credit card? I don't think so. You will need to pay off the money owed. That's right. Pretending it isn't so, the debt will definitely not disappear. Yes, if you aren't careful, this mind-boggling situation and a small budget can hit really hard and lead to further stress. On the brighter side, you can control these miserable feelings or holiday blues you experience after the holidays. And one way to do so is to avoid excessive spending during the festive season. Take control of your finances. Although conversations about purchasing gifts may feel awkward, be gracious and honest with your family and friends, letting them know how you feel about spending and that you're working on a tight budget. Therefore, you're unable to participate in gift giving at this time. And guess what? You'll feel much better for your honesty, and folks will or should understand. They'll get it. Now, if you decide to purchase gifts for family and friends because you believe it's the right thing to do during the jolly season, I'd say go for it. However, begin with a list, have a budget, and stick to it so you won't fall prey and be tempted to overspend. With a list, you keep track of the items you purchase and keep an eye on how your budget is flowing. Believe me, this approach is less stressful, especially when buying gifts on a shoestring budget can be somewhat difficult. You know your boundaries, and you know how much you have to spend and want to spend. Simplifying the holidays takes a lot of courage and brutal honesty. Don't fall for other people's expectations. Your family will remain your family after the holidays are all over. You know your budget, how much money you have to spend, and that's it. Don't get caught up in the moment or feel pressure to spend what you don't have. Just take a minute to think about the volume of activities, tasks, and debt you could incur around the holidays if you decide you really want to go that route. It all boils down to what you're capable of handling. Try not to overspend or splurge, which could definitely have financial consequences if you do. Then what? If you max out your credit card, it's likely you will begin the new year with a pile of bills and financial obligations that make you feel overwhelmed and may take months or even years to repay. Do you really want to carry that mental load? I said this before, and I'm going to repeat myself again. Don't get caught up with planning the perfect holiday and giving perfect gifts. Believe it or not, our families and friends will survive without a few gifts from us. Remember that you can only control yourself, what you do, and no one else. Always make sure you have enough money to spend and cover all of your expenses around the holidays to avoid impulsive spending. So long for now. Thank you for listening to A Merry Space with Niecy. Until next time, remain safe and healthy.